He throws out the journalist tag all the time. I am actually a journalist, this, that, and other. But to your point, there isn't the going in the locker room. There isn't the, he comes in the arena. You really don't get next to him. You don't see him. And so, you
talk to people, but it's not the same. Like
exactly. And so,
I said you fought.
What you laughing about, Jemele?
Stephen A. Smith is really going through it right now over the comments from Draymond Green and Jemele Hill. You can tell this whole situation is bothering him. Every time somebody brings his name up, especially in this conversation, he seems ready to fire right back. The crazy part is he admitted himself that he's supposed to be on vacation. He's supposed to be relaxing. Instead, he jumped online just to respond to Draymond Green and Jemele Hill. That tells you how much this entire podcast discussion is getting under his skin. Most people on vacation would wait until they got back before addressing something like this. Stephen A. couldn't even let it sit. He felt the need to answer immediately. And when you watch the clip, you can clearly see it. The man looks completely worked up over the whole thing.
That was only a small piece of Stephen A. Smith's response. But to understand why he's reacting like this, you have to go back to what Jemele Hill and Draymond Green said about him. Those comments are what set this whole thing off. So before we get any further into Stephen A.'s reaction, let's take a look at the original clip where Draymond and Jemele called him out.
My words with Stephen A. Listen, he's great at what he does. I think, he's arguably the best at what he does, right? And that's your lane, respect, cool. But I also think where the line gets blurred in a negative way for journalists is he throws out the journalist tag all the time. I am actually a journalist, this, that, and other. But to your point, there isn't the going in the locker room. There isn't the, he comes in the arena. You really don't get next to him. You don't see him. And so, you
talk to people, but it's not the same.
Exactly. And so you say all of these things on television. Jalen Brown has been very outspoken about it, the anonymous sources and all of these things, right? Like, you say all of these things on television, and then you throw out the word journalist, which almost makes people, especially athletes, not respect journalists, because you're throwing out the journalist tag and then you're doing that, and people don't respect it, and there's no accountability, right? So, the first thing you just said was, I write a column, I show up the next day to stand in your face to see what you're gonna say. If you need to say something, if you feel like we should, but when that term is thrown out now, no one's given that same opportunity. People spew all these things out there, and you're not given the opportunity to go face to face. And when you do, a la LeBron James, then it's this whole thing of like, oh my God, I had an opinion, and now they're not happy about my opinion, so they come to my... And so I don't think it's approached with that same integrity that you're speaking about, which ultimately, I think it leaves all journalists in a bad spot, because you're not technically viewed as what you just said a journalist is.
No, I don't think people look at us that anymore. And that's not to say that, journalism 20 years ago was perfect. There were certainly issues and that sort of thing, but there was just more respect that went both ways. Respect didn't mean favor. Respect just meant fairness. That's it. And I am a little disheartened by sometimes how personal it seems to get, because my rule of thumb always with television is I'm not going to say anything on TV I can't say to your face. So if I say on TV, not you personally, but if I say on TV, hey, you flop. Yo, when I see you, I'll be like, yeah, I said you flopped. And this is why. So that way it's you don't think that this is coming from, a personal place. And the hard part that can be difficult as a journalist is discernment. It's like we get told a lot of things. And I think players sometimes don't realize how much we get told and how much we actually don't say versus what we do say. And you have to always keep in mind, what is the agenda of the person telling me this? And so that's what I thought was very interesting about the Jaylen Brown discourse is, why is there all of a sudden this driving narrative about how he is some kind of analytical disappointment. Like, where is that coming from? Who stands to gain from this? What is the purpose and why is this coming out? And even the idea that he got, smartest man in the room syndrome, which is a bizarre.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, what they were really saying, what they was really saying.
The point Jemele Hill was making comes back to this idea that certain analysts seem to want athletes to just stay quiet and play basketball. That's basically the shut up and dribble argument. Kendrick Perkins even questioned why Jaylen Brown has a podcast in the first place. But why should Jaylen Brown having a podcast be treated differently from everybody else who has one, whether they're current players or former players? A lot of people believe Stephen A. Smith has played a major role in pushing certain narratives about Jaylen Brown. And according to those critics, that hasn't stopped. They feel like he's continued taking shots at Jaylen Brown even after everything that's happened. Well, Stephen A. Smith ended up responding directly to both Jemele Hill and Draymond Green. We're going to get into that response. Then we'll also look at what Jalen Rose had to say because he called Stephen A. Smith out as well. So let's get into the clip. And if you're enjoying the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up because it really helps support the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I said you flopped.
What you laughing about, Jemele Hill? Somebody that's not in the locker room? Are you implying that you've been in the locker room more than me in my career? Is that the implication here, Jemele Hill? See, this is what gets to me. And I'm going to be very respectful when I say this because I'm trying to be respectful to Jemele Hill, who I always show respect for. You just going to sit up there and listen to Draymond Green and forget the fact that I was a beat writer, high school, colleges, pros, for the first 20 years of my career? And that I earned the right graduating through every step of this industry before I became a general sports columnist to not have to be in the locker room all the time? You just gonna let him say that? And there's no course correction whatsoever about the industry and the fact that my position was earned? Draymond Green, just so you'll understand what I'm saying to Jemele Hill, my brother, because I want to make sure you get this. When Skip Bayless challenged you to come on his show on Fox and you retorted that it's a waste of your time, he don't have a snowball's chance in hell of coming at you or getting you to come on his show. He's done, he's the past, he's finished. That was one thing you said. And then you had him on your podcast, your show. And it was an entirely different tune that you were singing. You never invited me on Draymond Green's show since we haven't spoken. But you could give Skip Bayless an opportunity to have a conversation with you man to man, albeit in front of the cameras and the microphone. You've never accorded me that opportunity. You're just gonna ignore all of that. Ain't gonna come at me like that. You bring up LeBron James. You are absolutely right, Draymond Green. I'm not in the locker room too often anymore. Would it happen to be because I gotta wake up at 7 o'clock every morning for a morning meeting? Because I do a live television show that's #1 in the mornings for 14 consecutive years and counting. God has blessed me with that. And I have obligations where I can't afford to wait to be in the locker room when y'all go in there and then you go in the shower and you take your time getting dressed and the media is supposed to wait for you. If you know you have my number. Not only that, folks got my number. They can call me. And there ain't an athlete alive or anyone associated with the world of sports that knows me that doesn't know. If you want to see me, all you got to do is call me and tell me you need to see me, and I'm going to make it happen instantly.
So that was Stephen A. Smith's response to Jemele Hill and Draymond Green. But then Jalen Rose jumped into the conversation, and you can tell he's tired of where the media has gone these days, especially in the podcast era, because now it feels like every disagreement turns into promotion for the next episode. Jalen Rose decided to call that out directly. He responded to Jemele Hill's response to Stephen A's response. So at this point, it was basically responses on top of responses. And Jalen tweeted that one of the phoniest things in media is people beefing with each other and then saying they'll go on each other's shows to talk about it. He said chasing clicks is lame. A lot of people thought that message was aimed at Jemele Hill. I don't think it was. That sounded like a shot at Stephen A. Smith. And the reason people see it that way is because Stephen A. has spent years saying he doesn't need clicks. He used to brag about having the biggest name and not needing to chase attention online. This was before he really got into the podcast space. I remember it because a lot of YouTubers called him out over those comments. He used to take shots at content creators and basically act like he didn't need to play that game. Now, look at what's happening. Every time somebody mentions Stephen A. Smith, he immediately responds. The man is supposedly on vacation and still can't stay away from the internet. Instead of enjoying time off, he's jumping online, recording content, calling people out, and putting everything on social media. Then it turns into another podcast episode. That's exactly why Jalen Rose's comments hit the way they did. He was criticizing this entire media culture where every conflict becomes content. I actually like that he called it out, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about everything that's happened here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. We went out.